So right now, all signs point to Russell Westbrook going to the Miami Heat. Kendrick Perkins dropped a perk bomb, and he pretty much said Westbrook to the Heat is more or less a done deal. And a lot of people are wondering how will Westbrook and Jimmy Butler play together on the team. In this video, we're gonna break it down, talk a little basketball, talk about their basketball history, and what this trade means for Westbrook as well as the Miami Heat. Let's get into it. All right, so Westbrook, we know his history, walking triple-double, played with Paul George, played with Kevin Durant. With Kevin Durant, they actually made it to the finals earlier in their careers, but they were just a little too experienced, couldn't get it done. Eventually, their last playoff run before KD left, they blew a 3-1 lead to the Warriors. Now, some people say Paul George and KD leaving is an indictment on Russell Westbrook. Some people say Westbrook's style just can't win. I'm not buying that. KD and Paul George both left Westbrook for arguably the best teams in the league. Kevin Durant, for a fact, left Westbrook for the best team in the league. He left Westbrook for a team that had just won, 73 games, won a championship the year before, made it to the finals, lost to the finals in the year he went to them. So he went to an all-time great team. I don't think that's an indictment on Westbrook, on guys going to better teams. I just think guys are picking better organizations in better locations. Paul George, again, he left a team that took the Kevin Durant Warriors to 6 games. They beat them twice. No other team in the playoffs beat the Kevin Durant Warriors twice. The Raptors didn't even beat the Kevin Durant Warriors twice. They couldn't even beat the Kevin Durant Warriors once, and he only played 10 minutes that game. So Paul George going to the LA Clippers with Kawhi Leonard, he's just going to damn near the best team in the league. Even if they didn't get Paul George, the Clippers might be the fave to win the championship, or like in the running, right? With Paul George, that should probably push them over the top, and they should be the favorite to win a ring this year. So in my opinion, though I'm not a Westbrook fan or a Westbrook hater, I don't think it's an indictment on him and his playing style that Paul George and Kevin Durant both left to go to the best teams in the NBA. Now moving forward, Russell Westbrook on the Heat. So we don't know what kind of trade is going to go down, but I think Bam is untouchable. So it'd probably be Bam, Jimmy Butler, and Westbrook. That would probably be their core big three that we know is going to be there for sure. So how could Westbrook's game translate to playing alongside Jimmy Butler's game? Well, we kind of got to understand Jimmy Butler's game. Jimmy Butler is a guard, wing type player, pretty good ISO player. He shoots the three somewhat effectively. He could shoot it better. Now, some people said Jimmy Butler can't play off ball. That's a lie. That's a lie. We saw him do that in Philly, and we saw them do it pretty damn well. If they beat the Raptors, they could have made it to the finals. If they made it to the finals, they could have won a championship this year with Jimmy Butler. Kawhi Leonard just got a crazy bounce, and the rest is history. So Jimmy Butler can't play off ball. The biggest indictment against Jimmy Butler in terms of basketball, honestly, is he works too hard. People don't like playing on Jimmy Butler's team, or young players don't like playing with Jimmy Butler, or I guess players that just don't want to work hard don't like playing with Jimmy Butler because he pushes players. I think he's an intense guy. Some people believe that you work hard in practice so the game comes easy to you. I think Jimmy Butler is one of those guys. Some of the best players say they practice harder than they play. I believe Jimmy Butler is one of those guys. So Jimmy Butler, his biggest indictment is he pushes guys too hard. That's it. In terms of basketball and on the court, he can pretty much do what you would want an elite wing or elite scorer to do in the NBA. He can shoot, dribble, drive, and ISO. Now Westbrook, on the other hand, he can shoot. He just needs to be a little bit more efficient. We know he can drive. We know he's a freak athlete. Now, one thing they both are great at is defense. Defensively, those two at guard, Bam in the paint, the Heat should be studs when it comes to defense. If they keep Justice Winslow, they should be studs. They should be amazing on defense. They should apply serious pressure to opposing guards and opposing ball handlers. So that's one thing you already don't have to worry about, and good defense leads to easy offense. So I think the offense, a lot of people are wondering, man, these 2.5 court, how good or bad is it going to be? I don't think it's going to be that much of a struggle, because I think when this team comes together, one, they're going to play good defense, and two, offensively, Jimmy Butler has shown us that he can play off ball efficiently again. He did it for the 76ers. Now it's just a matter of, can Russ get him involved, and can Russ know when to defer to him? As Russ ages and matures and plays with these different and various players, at times we saw him defer to Paul George a lot, which is great. It's a sign of maturity. The best players know when to defer, and they know when to just let the game come to him. But at the same time, sometimes Russell Westbrook does struggle at letting the game come to him. Russell Westbrook's biggest knock is he's a chucker. Let's just put it on the table right now. His biggest knock is he's a chucker and he's a stat hunter. Now, the thing about being a stat hunter is it's worse things to do in basketball, right? If you're hunting for rebounds, if you're hunting for assists, those are good things to hunt for. If you're hunting for steals, these are all things that make up good basketball players. So I don't mind him hunting for assists and chasing down unnecessary rebounds. That's okay with me. The biggest deal with Westbrook, and honestly, the make or break between this trade is going to be, can Westbrook slow it down a little bit? You know, I feel like Westbrook's a guy that goes 100 miles per hour. He usually leads the league in usage rate, or at least top 3 every year. I feel like he needs to dial that back a little bit. Apparently, people say Jimmy Butler went to Miami Heat because he wanted to be that guy. With Westbrook coming into town, I feel like Westbrook still has to allow him to somewhat, more or less, be like that guy or feel like that guy. Because to be fair, Paul George and Westbrook were both that guy in Oklahoma City. So I feel like in Miami, it's one ball. It's damn near a 2-star league. Every good team has 2 stars. I feel like they both can equally be that guy. And then last year with the Thunder, a lot of times Paul George was the closer. And with the Sixers, Jimmy Butler was the closer. I feel like if they can just let Jimmy Butler close out games and maybe defer to Westbrook again, I think they'll be all right. And I think they can win some games. Now, what does this trade mean for Westbrook and what does it mean for the Miami Heat? To be honest, to be blunt, to be fair, the Heat aren't going to be good enough to win a ring. So again, this isn't an indictment on Westbrook. They aren't going to be good enough to win a ring, but in the East, they are going to be good enough to make the playoffs. Now, sometimes making the playoffs is all you need. I think this team could easily make the playoffs, maybe get out the first round, maybe get out the second round. I don't know. But I think they can easily make the playoffs in the East. And we saw this past year when injuries happen, it's anyone's game. At times, it can be a war of attrition, a war of whose team's healthy. So I feel like Westbrook going to the Miami Heat is going to have him playing in a beautiful location in Miami. The women are beautiful, the weather's gorgeous, the food's great, and it's also going to have him playing in the postseason. And hopefully, we can see him making it out of the first round and maybe even out of the second round in the East. So all in all, Westbrook to Miami, I think it's a good trade. And I think, honestly, Westbrook and Jimmy are going to play how Westbrook has played with every decent forward he's played with before. I don't think it's going to be any different than Westbrook and Paul George or any different than Westbrook and Durant. Honestly, it could be better because I think Spoelstra might be the best coach that Westbrook has had. I have never been a fan of the Oklahoma City Thunder coaching. When they had KD and Durant, they were both just, that's the same person. When they had Westbrook and Durant, they would both just come down in ISO, and that's all you had to do. It'd be ISO ball, ISO ball, ISO ball. Hopefully you can stop one of them. If one of them's cold, if you stop the other one, you win the game. Or just if one of them's cold, just focus on the other one, and you win the game. It was just like an ISO ball. I think Spoelstra is going to be the best coach Westbrook has damn near ever had. I think Jimmy Butler, not going to be his best teammate, but I think he's going to be another elite teammate, another elite pairing. And we've seen Westbrook play with elite players. It's not like he's just been doing his own thing like a madman in OKC. Like, he's a good teammate, and he gets his numbers with whoever he plays with, and they get their numbers too. Paul George averaged 28 points in the playoffs last season. You can't average 28 points unless you're getting the ball, unless somebody's looking to feed you the ball. Paul George damn near had an MVP season. He was in the MVP race alongside Westbrook. Westbrook isn't taking guys' shots. He's not taking guys' shine. For all intents and purposes, everyone knows Paul George was the best player on that team last year, and Westbrook wasn't upset about that. You know, I think Westbrook just came up a little short in the playoffs. He couldn't get it done. He easily got outplayed by Damian Lillard. You hate to see it, but it happened. It is what it is. I think a new location, a new setting, a fresh scenery might be just what Westbrook needs. He no longer feels, I guess, attached and maybe even stuck to the OKC Thunder. I'm all for new opportunities and new beginnings, and I can't wait to see Jimmy Butler and Russell Westbrook do their thing. Hey, in the comments, sound off. Let me know what you think. If you're new to the channel, drop a subscription. Hey, man, this is a new channel, fresh channel. I'm trying to get it going. I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.